If your HB broke up with you recently, I need you to hear this, because the biggest mistake I will make right now has nothing to do with affirmations, but it will be to turn the breakup into my entire identity. Because the thing is, when something painful happens, we don't just experience the event. We start creating a story about ourselves from this event. And suddenly you're telling yourself, I'm not wanted, I'm not loved, I'm not chosen, it's over, they don't want me. And before you know it, one single event is becoming your identity, and that's the danger. Because the breakup itself was never the point, it's the meaning that you attach to it that becomes dangerous. So if I were in your situation, the first thing that I will do will be revision, because I will refuse to let one single painful event repeat itself. What I will tell myself is simply, we had a simple misunderstanding, but we are deeply connected. And that's the story that I will go with. And then I will continue identifying with, I am someone who is deeply chosen and loved and prioritized. Because revision is never really about changing the past, but it's about refusing to let the past define who you become next. Also, and this is important, I will stop looking at the 3D as evidence that my significant person is coming back. Because if you need to look at the 3D to feel secure, then your security is still depending upon your circumstances. And circumstances change constantly, but your identity shouldn't. So the goal for this wouldn't be, how do I make them come back? But who do I choose to be regardless of what today looks like? Because the version of you who is loved doesn't wake up every single day wondering whether or not they are lovable based on yesterday's circumstances. That identity is already settled. And I think that's where most people get manifestation backwards, because they're trying to use the 3D to create a new identity, when it's actually the new identity that eventually creates a new 3D. So right now, don't focus on getting your SP back. Focus on becoming someone whose sense of worth doesn't rise and fall with a text message or a breakup or a circumstance. Because that identity will serve you long after this moment is over. And your SP is going to come back if you focus on your identity around the breakup.